Hey, Connor.
Hey, Mickey, it's great to see you again.
Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, looking forward to this.
For our listeners, super excited today. We got a really cool company, really cool guy joining us today, Skytech Sport. They're the world's first interactive snow and ski simulator. Um, awesome stuff, man. I'm really excited to share you guys' story, kind of highlight some products, talk about your background. So yeah, let's get right into it. Tell me a little bit about Connor. How did you get into Skytech? What led you to this career path choice?
Yeah, without going too in depth, I started snowboarding when I was 10. I became pretty obsessed with it when it was time to go to college at the age of 18. It was a no-brainer to go to Reno, Nevada, just 2 hours away from my hometown, Folsom, California. I went to college in Reno and I snowboarded on average 30 to 40 days per year while I was in college up there. It was just so accessible from Reno to drive 45 minutes to, 15 different ski resorts in Lake Tahoe. So got a lot of time on the mountain. And then, consequently, I started teaching my friends and family members how to ski and snowboard. Just everybody knew I was that guy that knew how to do it. They wanted free lessons from me. I enjoyed teaching, so I would constantly give out some free lessons to my friend group. But I always kind of was frustrated in a deep down way of like spending my days on the bunny slopes with them. I thought, there must be a better way to show people how to ski and snowboard, but not waste my valuable time on the snow on the bunny slopes. So was just scrolling Instagram one day in college and I stumbled across a ski simulator. It was the treadmill style ski simulators that Snowbond in Denver, Colorado uses. Probably familiar with Snowbond. Um, so I saw that simulator. I'm like, wow, that's the future. I was in an entrepreneurship class at the time. So I started writing a business plan about bringing these simulators to Reno, Nevada, and how we could kind of create this indoor learning center in the city. Got really deep in the research, so deep that it kind of became time to try one of the simulators for myself. So I started actively researching where could I try one of these machines locally. And funny enough, I stumbled across a guy that was building them in his garage in South Reno and had one where he was operating a little indoor ski studio out of his garage. Um, I went down there, I tried it on a Tuesday night, and within 5 minutes of using it, I was so discouraged and ready to quit everything. Not probably not what you expected out of that amazing story, but it's the truth. I was very frustrated by the experience. It felt like I was starting over after 16 years of snowboarding. It felt like I was a beginner again. It's a very uncomfortable experience using those machines. Kind of feels like you're constantly being dragged on the surface the entire time, as opposed to smoothly sliding down the mountain. So that was a little bit humbling. And I kind of wanted to give up. I thought, man, this technology is just not what it looks like on Instagram. So I kind of paused. I was still working on the project for class, but I was definitely a little discouraged. Continued scrolling on Instagram like everybody does. And on another following evening, I came across the Skytech machine. I guess, thank God, the algorithm knew that I was interested in ski simulators and showed me an alternative. As soon as I saw the Skytech Sports Simulator, I'm like, okay, that looks a lot more like the real deal, like maybe for an athlete of my level that just wants to practice, doesn't necessarily need to start from ground zero. So I became pretty obsessed with Skytech, started doing all the research, kind of learned that they were a European company. And at the time, they didn't have much of a presence in the United States. There was really only 3 locations in the US open to the public. So I reached out to them, met up with the owner of the company over a Zoom call. He was fascinated by my interest in ski simulators. He definitely saw that I had done my research and knew a lot about them. And he offered me an internship. So took the internship, and that's when I really started the sales journey with Skytech Sport. And now it's awesome. I've helped close to 10 businesses in the United States alone open up with our equipment, and many more internationally, which is so fun. Speaking with these people from different countries, learning about their snow sports industry over there, and helping make indoor skiing and snowboarding training more popular.
That's great. How many years have you been there now?
A little bit over 3 years with Skytech Sport at this point.
Awesome. That's great. So yeah, I can relate 100% to your story about time teaching other people. Yeah, I'm in Denver. I put my kids through Snowbond. Big fan of that. Big fan of what they're doing. I mean, it made the first runs super easy, way less stressful. They could stand, they could turn, as opposed to me spending all day, yelling and screaming and tears and whatnot. So yeah, that alone was amazing. And same with your product. It's just the ability to get those turns and get the feel for it before you go and spend your day and your time up on the mountains. It's so expensive now to do that kind of stuff that you got to have some kind of an idea before you get up there. And these products are really just opening up the door for that for people to be ready on day one on the slopes.
Yeah, I was
But
just to add to that really quickly. I was talking to one of my customers last night. I was teaching a lesson last evening.
he still teach.
Uh, Yeah, I still teach lessons at our
Nice.
studio here in Los Angeles.
Awesome.
Did 4 lessons last night, but one of the customers and I were talking about the differences between Snowbond technology and Skytech sport technology since they're so different looking. And he had asked me, what's the difference? And I kind of explained to him their technology is kind of like kindergarten for skiers and snowboarders. And I like to think of Skytech as grade school. You could hang out with us from grade 1 all the way to grade 12, and we're still going to have the ability to teach and impress you. Whereas the Snowbond technology is really perfect for those people that have yet to slide down an icy slope and they just need that practice standing, balancing, and sliding down a slanted angle.
Yep. And pertaining to Roombldr and to our world, obviously it's more residential and in home settings. There's no way you could do a Snowbond machine in a home. Well, I guess you could, but it'd be very difficult. That and just the size, the space constraints, and the content. The content you guys have is amazing. Just to be able to basically ski the same slopes you see out, in the world, you can do that in your home. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's true. There's not a lot of homes in the world that have that revolving treadmill simulator, but that actually is a huge market for us. I think at this point, it's about 20% of our sales is the private customer homes, basements, side barns, game rooms, garages.
Great.
Pretty fascinating where we've installed them. Our simulators tend to require a much shorter ceiling. We can do it in just an 8-foot tall ceiling with our newly designed slim models. So that's pretty awesome for fitting it into basements. And then, yeah, generally the footprint is not nearly as large as those treadmill machines.
Okay.
And then I think also just like the long-term benefit of having a machine that you're going to be excited to use on a daily basis for 12 years. That's really where the Skytech machine shines.
Sure, and it's not just a training machine either, right? I mean, it's an amazing workout. So yes, you might be able to ski and you might be an expert, but you can use this as your own workout and be even more ready for when the ski season's here.
Yeah, that's actually primarily how the US ski team uses their Skytech simulator right now is like more of a workout and recovery device. They're using it as just like the most efficient way to get their repetitions in. My customers in Los Angeles, on average, will do about 1,000 turns in 30 minutes on the machine. The more advanced US ski team athletes, they can lay down 1,500 to 1,700 turns in 30 minutes. So it's a lot of repetition in a very condensed amount of time. There's nothing quite like our device.
That's amazing. I heard you say something about the G-force too. I know that's something you guys pay a lot of attention to, and it's unique to your product. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, G-force is our secret sauce, as my boss likes to say, and I think it's a really valid point. We are able to simulate the same G-forces that you experience on snow on our simulator. And the kind of secret as to how we do that, we use very powerful motors inside of our platform, and we have very powerful computers that tell those motors what to do according to the user's movements. So simply by tilting and edging your skis to the left, you're going to accelerate to the left. And the harder you lean into those edges and trust those edges, the greater the acceleration and the greater the G-force is. Because of that G-force, our participants are able to achieve 50, 60-degree edging angles on their skis and snowboards and stay upright. If they didn't have that kind of acceleration and they tilted 50 to 60 degrees, they would just simply fall over. So that's how we're able to really create that authentic carving experience.
That's awesome. And you are the official partner of the U.S. ski team. Like, we can say that. Is that allowed? Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, we are an official supplier for them and partner with them. They're, our simulator is the only simulator in their training center up in Park City, Utah. So I've gone there a handful of times now and hung out with the athletes and shown them how to get even better on the simulator itself. And I've worked with their coaches to help them get more familiar with the technology and better instruct their athletes on the machine. It's pretty awesome to see our equipment in such a high level training facility.
That's great. So out of curiosity, how do you record the content for like the slopes? Just to be able to mimic that on the screen.
Yeah, it's a pretty complicated process that's a little bit above my pay grade. It's more on the software side. But what I've always heard is that we have a company that goes out and 3D maps the ski courses. They provide those 3D mapping or 3D renderings to our software team. And then our software team spends hours upon hours copying every single detail down to the trees, the chairlifts, the mountains in the background, the angle of the slope, the snow conditions, and the placement of the slalom and giant slalom gates on those courses. So all of our replica slopes are based off of real slalom and GS courses. That way our customers can, compete on the exact same courses that the professional athletes around the world are training on.
Very similar to the golf simulator, golf sim world, with how they map
That's
the
right.
course and bring that to the consumer.
Yeah, so there's usually a company that specializes in that, and then they license that data or sell that data to the golf simulator companies. Same situation with us.
Cool. So obviously now you guys have branched off into more, I'll call it like fitness products, even more balanced training products. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we started selling the ski and snowboard simulators to the public about 13 years ago. We've got a huge reputation around the world for making incredible, interactive simulators. And our customers and a lot of new people that wanted to buy our simulators started asking, well, what else can you guys do? What else do you make? So for many years, the company was scratching their heads trying to think, what else can we do? They didn't really want to get into other industries that were saturated like golf simulators. There's probably 99 companies that make golf simulators and they did not want to be the 100th. So they went for something that nobody had really touched before, which was the boxing industry. And that's how they created the Bot Boxer, which is our second product ever. Crazy product. It's a interactive punching bag that dodges your punches using computer vision. So we've got computers staring at every single body part, watching your fists come towards those bags, and it is faster than you. That's how it was designed to be. So using, again, very powerful motors, we're able to move that bag in a three-dimensional way to the left, to the right, forward, back, every direction, and dodge your punches. So originally it was made for the boxing industry. We thought, oh man, boxing gyms are going to love this, just like, professional ski teams loved our ski simulator. Unfortunately, the boxing industry is not as wealthy as the skiing industry. Presenting a $30,000 boxing simulator to boxing gyms has been a little challenging. So we had to kind of rethink that strategy. We still make the Bot Boxer and we still sell it to some, I would say, world-class high-end boxing gyms. However, we've added a gamification side to the product and we've had a lot more success selling the Bot Boxer to arcades, indoor entertainment centers, even personal homes that are just looking for like a fun activity that's educational and also very good fitness. So that's where we've had the most success. We've added kind of a game similar to Dance Dance Revolution to this to the Bot Boxer. So you're punching the bag to the beat of many different songs. We added a game called Zombie Attack, which I think is my personal favorite. Looks like you're fighting against a zombie on the screen. He swings at you. You kind of have to back away and dodge that attack. Otherwise, your life goes down. So just adding these gamification elements to a really incredible training device has proven to be an awesome industry for us. And that product is slowly gaining popularity in these new family entertainment centers all around the world.
Awesome. I love the innovation. you don't really see a lot of change like that so quickly, and just the ability to adapt and say, hey, this is working, this isn't working, let's try something new, or let's double down. I love that. That's really cool to see from a company.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then you touched on the balance boards a little bit as
Yeah.
well. I'm incredibly proud of that product. We launched it to the public in January of 2024, so just over a year ago. And we sold way more balance boards last year than we ever could have predicted. I think we're on track to sell at least 100 this year, which is awesome, going from 0 to 100 in such a small amount of time. The balance boards have been a much more unique product for us because it's allowed us to get into industries that never could have afforded the ski simulator or the bot boxer. The balance board on average sells for about $10,000. That's the board, the computer, the balance bar. It's kind of an all-in-one package for people. And we've started selling that to museums. We're doing a really cool project with the LA Science Center that's going to have 2 of those balance boards. We've done a museum up in Norway that wanted to give people the ability to try skiing and snowboarding, just in a very like fun and easy way. So they'll stand on the balance board. We're building a custom game for them to play on the balance board that looks like they're actually skiing in the mountains, the Norwegian mountains.
Wow.
So that's going to be an amazing product for us to offer to them. And then these balance boards are also just a great offering for the family entertainment centers as well. They're constantly looking for products that have super high throughput. So it needs to be a short but fun and memorable experience. And that's exactly what the balance board is. You step on it, there's like a 30-second tutorial of how to use it. And then the games last about 1 minute on average. So we're able to push a lot more people through per hour on the balance boards than we could ever accomplish on the ski simulators at a fraction of the cost. And our customers are absolutely loving it.
That's amazing. Yeah, if you don't have balance, you can't ski. So it's also a good entryway into that.
Yeah, it's gone super viral on Instagram a dozen
Uh,
times already. We've kind of found out that we can post a video of the balance board, particularly somebody playing one of the ski themed games that we have on the balance board, and we'll write funny stuff like, "Oh, skiing is easy," or "People said skiing was hard," and in the comment section they go crazy. They say, "This isn't skiing. You can't learn to ski using this." And we're like, "Yeah, we know. That's why it's a balance board." But it's really fun to get all the attention from people. Those videos have a couple million views each at this point, and they continue to bring us followers, and ultimately other customers that are interested in our products find us through these funny videos. So it all works out.
that's great. So are you still finding ways to hit the slopes and to enjoy that, or are you pretty much a working man these days?
I just got back from a vacation in Japan. I was in Japan for 7 days, and I spent 4 of those days snowboarding in Hakuba Valley. So it was an incredible trip. I'm juggling work and still trying to snowboard and ski. I'm actually working on getting my level 1 ski instructor certification this year as well. So that's like an online course with a couple of on mountain training days. And I'm doing that at Snow Summit down here in Los Angeles. The reason for getting the level 1 is I've just been teaching so many lessons at our studio here in LA. That's been another fun initiative for me, is really growing the indoor lessons side of our business. That was never a priority for Skytech, and it's truthfully, it's still not a big priority, but it's my passion, and they've allowed me to work on it. We kind of have that second company that we're calling Ski and Fit by Skytech Sport, and that references the indoor lessons side of what we're doing down here in Los Angeles. It's been really fun. I think on average, we're teaching about 50 to 70 lessons per week at our studio right now. And these are all private one-on-one lessons. The feedback that we've been getting from customers is incredible. They'll come in, take one lesson with us. They'll see the benefits. They'll see how exhausting it is. And then ultimately they buy one of our like 5, 10, or 20 packages, and they'll train with us, for 5 weeks or 10 weeks straight, leading up to a ski vacation that they have planned, or leading up to, when they feel confident to go outdoors. And then they come back afterwards and they tell us like, wow, it really felt similar to your simulator. We're ready to keep learning. And they'll buy another package and continue training with us. So
That's
these customers kind of turning into friends. You know, we're seeing them on a weekly basis. We're asking them how their kids are, how their personal life is. And then we're also doing a pretty intense, 30-minute training session on the machine.
Awesome. So you've obviously been to a lot of mountains and experienced a lot of different kind of snow. Who's got the best runs in the country? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I think Kirkwood, I don't want to shout it out to everybody, but Kirkwood in Lake Tahoe is still one of the most incredible ski resorts I've ever been to. It's not that popular because it's hard to get there. But that one is probably the #1 ski resort in my heart locally here in the United States. I had a very unique experience recently in Utah. Never experienced this kind of snow. It's called grapple. And basically it's Dippin' Dots that are falling from the sky. It's quite literally snow that looks like Dippin' Dots. And it was really unique to ride in that snow conditions. I don't know if it's just to Utah. I read online it's a very rare snow consistency that can happen in a lot of places, but a lot of like perfect weather moments have to align in order for this grapple or Dippin' Dot snow to fall from the sky. And yeah, it was a cool experience to say I've officially ridden in Dippin' Dots.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. We have the ability to change the snow conditions on our ski simulator. I think that's something a lot of people don't realize. We can make the conditions feel icy, slushy. We can turn on small bumps. We can add large bumps. And after my grapple experience, I think we need to add that as a feature to the ski simulators.
There you go. That's great. Well, I really don't have anything else for you today, man. I really appreciate your time and for doing this and for sharing your story. Look forward to working more with you. And thanks again for supporting us. Before we hop off real quick, I want to say shout out to Brandon. He's behind the scenes doing this. It's his birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday, Brandon. But yeah, thanks again, Connor. I really appreciate your time and for doing this.
Yeah. Thank you, Mickey. You've been a great partner. And yeah, we're looking forward to continuing our awesome relationship.
Thanks, Connor.